Hey everyone, you probably thought I forgot about this game, didn't you? I've actually been working on it behind the scenes on and off. I have some art on a lot of the cards, but not all of them as you can see. And I've made a lot of refinements in terms of how the game mechanics work. The big thing is that it's a little bit more like a traditional deck builder at this point. There are resources. You can use the resources to buy additional cards to build your deck. And I still kept that all the cards have a value because I think that's still an interesting premise. You can see here the kind of starter deck that you get. You get two Dirty Ice. Dirty Ice is worth one value. I don't know what to call it. Credits. You get a round trip, six industrial drills, four industrial robots, two rookie miners, asteroid skimmer, gravity sled, and four explosive charges. And I made a lot of changes in how these cards work, how they synergize, and yeah, we'll go through a little bit of that real quick. We have our ship components here. It's down to four now. It makes more sense to me. We have an engine, storage, power core, and life support. So power core is for things that require power. Life support is for miners. Storage is for how many void opals you can take in a single trip to Earth. And engines are now how many round trip cards you need to be able to get to Earth. So there's Earth right there. Let's see. We have the void opal cards, so that's the most valuable thing. You can see it doesn't have a value. You have to actually trade an exotic card, so one of the gold colored cards, to be able to get a void opal. So they're worth 12, but instead of making them worth 12, which would have let people use multiple cards to purchase a void opal, you have to trade an exotic for a void opal. I thought that made it more interesting. We have our ice deck here, and you'll see with our miners, this miner here, if I play this miner with this drill, we get one ice. Optionally, they can stay out on the field until a drill is available for them, so they can just kind of hang out, which can be kind of useful in deck builders to have a card that can stay out for more than one turn. We have robots. They require power. They can mine one ice when they're industrial. The skimmer card now gives you an option to discard an item from the store or increase your ice mine by one, and it has to be played with a miner or a robot. So the gravity sled by itself is not useful, really. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. It requires a synergy, otherwise it's useless. And then explosive charges now increase the amount of ice mined by a miner or robot. So again, has to be used with them. It's a one-time use card, so then it goes into the discard for the store, and then you would have to buy it again if you wanted a new one. The round trip cards, they're kind of interesting, right? So you can deliver void opals to Earth or get one free industrial level item if available in the shop. So basically this is worth one if you don't have a void opal to get home if there's an industrial item here. So there's no industrial items right here. So if I were to get this card would also currently be useless to me. So again, that's kind of interesting. I made it so that when you start the game, you have both, or not both, all of your different engine components. So if I was able to pay two, I could upgrade my engine. I can't like do anything with this card or whatever, sell it. But then if I were to pay 5, I can upgrade it again. Then if I were to pay 12, I can upgrade it to the max, right? And each time it'll reduce the number of cards needed to get to Earth. So that's why you would want to do that. This, you'd get more void opals. This, you would be able to play more powered cards in a turn. And this, you'd be able to play more life support cards in a turn. So for example, right now with the Gray Fusion Power Core, I wouldn't be able to play, if I got a hand with both a robot and a skimmer, I could not play both of those. Well, rather, I could play them, but one of them would have no effect, right? Only would have an effect if I could power it, and I only have one power right now, so the card that doesn't have power has no effect. So that, again, that limits things and controls things and makes you go, I should probably upgrade my power core so I can use more powered items, or I should update my life support so I can use more miners. And as you build your deck, you can kind of decide which direction you want to go. Do I want to, maybe I upgrade my engines to max, but I can only do one void opal at a time. It's going to take me a lot of turns to kind of get back and forth to Earth to deliver all those void opals. So maybe I should upgrade my storage so that I can have more void opals in my storage and take more per turn, because the goal of the game is still the first of 10 void opals wins. So in my opinion, ice has become a deck flooding mechanic, which I think is really interesting, right? So again, pretend this is a trader in a ship, always flying by, always ready to trade for things, but these are the things the trader has on this run by, right? They're willing to take your ice and in trade give you credit on the store. Let's say Earth needs ice, right? Needs water. So that's how that would work. I could spend my round trip to have 5. And then I could spend like a bunch of my 1 cards, and I could spend my dirty ice, and then maybe I have enough for a 12, right? Or maybe this 5 isn't as useful as this 5 to me, so I sell this to buy this. Or I sell one of each of those to get 5 and buy this. The card values are 1, 2, 5, and 12. And they, of course, because of that, have different abilities, or not necessarily abilities, but they can do different things, right? They're upgrades on each other. So there's no upgrades to round trips, and there are actually other 5-cost kind of specialty items that exist in the game. But we can see like the veteran miner requires a drill, but can mine 3 ice with that drill, right? So maybe you also have, the Midas touch drill. Well, now you draw 1 additional card for each value of paired miner. So if this is the miner that you have, you then get to draw 5 additional cards from your deck, which could be super useful, right? As long as you have the power for it. So if you had a gold miner and the gold drill, then you'd be able to draw an extra 12 cards that turn, which could be super useful to you, but it might just be a bunch of ice, because what you're going to end up getting is a lot of ice. For example, the explosive charge, the golden explosive charge, I think you get like 15 ice for that. And then, of course, you're getting like extra here, extra there, right? So on your next turn, your deck, you start with like these 20 cards, but maybe you quickly have like 60, 70, 80 cards in your deck, and most of them are ice. And so you basically draw a lot of hands where you have basically like cash on hand to be able to buy different things, right? Or just to like discard, so to speak, to kind of start getting rid of and controlling your deck a little bit more. So that's the premise that I have now. There's 2 types of ice. There's dirty ice, and then there's a few clean ice in here that are worth 2. So it's random though, right? So as you're drawing your ice, sometimes you'll get 1 and sometimes you get 2. So I think that's kind of interesting. I haven't decided if ice should be like one-time use, right? So like if I spend this, it's like a coin that's gone, or like a lot of deck builders, does this continue to be in my deck and I have to figure out other ways to like curate and discard from my deck. So that's something I'm still kind of working on. I need to play test this a bunch to see, is it fun? Does it work? What else do I need to tweak? But I definitely didn't want to, never update you all on how this is all going. I'm constantly refining the spreadsheet that I made with all the different values and how many cards and what this all means. I've been thinking about, maybe having event cards as well that totally kind of mess things up. It gives players an opportunity to catch up to each other if one's really taking the lead. I don't know. I'm still trying to think it through. I'm not super excited about the fact that I now have like 264 cards in this, and that like 6 like playing card decks is 312. So like, I'm like 5 playing card decks of cards right now. But that's where things stand. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you would like to play test this. I can give you the file hopefully or something so that you can kind of play test this. If you need any rules or insights, I'd love to kind of work through that and figure this all out. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks so much for watching.